Hello, friends. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, looks like we're great. We're good to go. My name is SUNSfan. I'm your very, very professional host for What the Duck. Zyri's taking another day off as per usual. Pubbing Dota right now as we speak, actually.
Maybe we'll bring his game up a little bit later.
Yes. How dare you speak before I introduce you as your professional host, good sir?
Sorry, First, I thought we were doing unprofessional.
I will introduce Purge Gamers. Congratulations on making it to the show, good sir. How's it going?
Thank you. It was a tough qualifier. I know there's a lot going on right now. It's been a lot of work every day, and I'm just glad to have made it through the end.
Excellent. Trent Pax, you're next. Hello.
Oh, is it my turn now?
Trent Pax at twitter.com. Sorry, I didn't give the full
Thank
introduction.
you. Yes, I actually only go by that now. So it's my new in-game for everything. Yeah.
Excellent. Shane O'Mad, I see that you're eating a burger. And by burger, I mean it's a piece of meat with no bread, so not really a burger. It's just meat. How are you enjoying that? Give us a thumbs up. Okay, excellent.
Ground beef.
Very good. I tried to swallow it to speak, but
Thanks for joining us again.
no problem.
And I don't know who this guy is. You changed your name from pimpmuckl. I don't even know what your name is anymore, bro. What is this?
I mean, I'm still pimping good.
Okay, cool. So I guess the first thing that we'd want to talk about, guys, is what's on everybody's mind, the qualifiers.
Qualifiers. It's
Dota 2
non-stop.
There's a lot of stuff going on right now. I don't know how
What
to feel about
qualifiers?
that. Well, let's see. The Perfect World Masters just ended. Same with Star Ladder and ESL 1 Hamburg Major and Dota Pit and
PGL.
PGL.
Wow, there's actually
That's
so
correct.
many.
That's 5.
Did you say Star Ladder?
I did. Thanks for listening,
Okay,
Trent
sorry.
Pax at twitter.com.
Well, there was a lot. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
Does anyone else feel that when you say like major and minor, it feels like they all kind of get thrown into one kind of event, and they're all kind of the exact same. Like they're not unique anymore. That's kind of how I feel about it. Like it's
Not
like,
yet.
Oh, it's
Shane O'Mad at
that's true.
twitter.com.
That's true.
Not yet.
But like in general, I feel like there's another minor. Oh, there's another major, and I don't know which one I'm watching. And it's awful confusing. There's just too much happening, in my opinion, to like digest all of it.
It's lost in the sea of... So we can talk
are
about
you
this to
saying
start with.
saturation? Is that
Yeah,
what I'm hearing?
there's a bit of saturation.
Oh, that's a word I didn't hear in a long time.
When this
Hello?
was all announced, everybody was super happy, right? And then we're like, let's give it some time. Let's give it a year maybe to figure out exactly how this is going to go. We thought it was going to help like these tier 2, tier 3 teams. I think it does not, actually. Because now you're looking at like these double elim 4-team qualifiers, right? Which they have to do. These tournaments have to do to be able to fit in the schedule. You can't invite more than 4 teams for certain regions. Is that ridiculous?
And everyone wants the big teams. Even if you're running a minor, you're an idiot if you don't ask Liquid, OG. I mean, you're still running an event. You have money, you have sponsors, you want viewers. So why you're not gonna direct invite, Team Kinkwin, for example, who've been doing very well. They've won some of these qualifiers, they're going to some of these lands, but no one's gonna invite them. So it's kind of a weird system right now.
The problem all originates from the tournament organizers having discretion, and the reality is that if teams know they have to run 6 qualifiers, and they have to invite at least some teams, then they're always going to skimp and go 8 teams total. If they were forced to do 12 teams, 16 teams, then it raises their cost a lot because then they have to fly everybody out. And if that was the case, they would have way more invites. And if there are way more invites, then all these top teams basically in their regions wouldn't have to play every single qualifier. So the what's happening and why it's hurting the tier 2 teams is because the tournaments aren't forced to have a certain level or a certain amount of teams. So they're just like, everybody has to play qualifiers all the time. That's the cascading issue that starts at the top, is that there's not enough direction maybe at the top to force tournament organizers to invite a certain amount of people.
There's one thing though. There has been a lot of talks about ESL 1 being a major and only having 8 teams, and this being kind of meh. Because you would think, okay, it's a major, you want to have like 12 or 16 teams at least and really make a big show out of it. And what Ulrich Schulze said was that, well, they didn't really know it was a major up until like very recently, so they didn't really have time to accommodate. But the other majors that at least ESL is going to hold, that's going to be 12 teams, that's going to be 16 teams. So we're going to see some of these cascading effects, definitely like in the later stages of this year. Until then, it's going to be really difficult. But the one thing I think we have to kind of understand is that when all of these tournaments happen, like the ESLs and PGL and Starladder and also Perfect World, the teams that are actually going to be there can't play the qualifiers. So there's some sort of like natural selection in that way, where the teams that actually make it to these events can't really play the next round of qualifiers. I'm not sure if all of this is going to happen, but given how incredibly stacked, like there's basically a tournament every 2 weeks, so you kind of have to run the qualifiers when other tournaments are happening.
Yeah.
So it kind of should balance itself out in the next few months.
I actually think it's inevitable that there will be teams in a practice room at a LAN playing qualifiers. It's gonna happen.
Oh, 100%.
Don't know
Think
if that's the
about it.
case.
Think about
No,
it.
no,
Like
100.
you have days off. There's some qualifier going on for a tournament. Someone this year is going to be playing another like qualifiers for LAN at a LAN.
That
It's
actually,
like how
that
could it not
actually
happen?
happened at Dream League about 2 years ago. Navi had to play.
I think
at
that
the
happens
event.
at every Dream League. To be fair, that tournament takes fucking like 8
but like-
weeks.
But that's the perfect
Jeez.
example, right? Right now, all of the Dota scene is exactly like how Dream League was. It's like always constantly happening. Everyone's constantly playing qualifiers. Like I know a few like tier 2-ish players, and they're like what they're saying is it's extremely stressful. Like to have to pick and choose, which qualifier you have to play in, and then you're out, and then all of a sudden you can't qualify for the other one. Whereas
Dude, it
beforehand,
stressed socks that rated a pro Dota.
what?
I did.
I said it stressed socks that rated a pro Dota. He was like complaining on Twitter and stuff, and then he was just done. He's like, I gotta take a break, man.
No,
This
but
is
JJ's right.
too crazy.
It kind of weeds out certain teams because they can't literally play every tournament. A lot of teams are going to get burnt out after the first few months, but all in all, it's still pretty messy. I think we can all agree on that.
That's why Saxa left Weha's team, or one of the main reasons anyway.
Because there's
Like-
too many tournaments.
Burgers.
Yeah, he was just stressed out about all the way it was going and the way Dota was handling.
Hmm.
That's what I was told by a pretty good source.
Just you guys. Oh, Shannon, do you use your own account? Look at Zoom.
Yeah,
There's
I
gonna
haven't
be
paid
the.
for Zoom. I saw it. I just saw a message pop. It didn't actually go on stream though.
It's
so.
gonna die in 9 minutes. You
Is it
should have
actually
used
gonna die?
Star's account. Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
it
shut
is.
out.
All right, we'll just make this a 9-minute what the duck. It's fine.
All right, let's go. We have a lot to talk about.
Jesus H. Wait, what am I supposed to do? You want me to just turn off the webcams for a while?
I don't know what's happening.
Just recall.
Basically,
Yeah,
get
just redo it.
ask us a question that we can talk about for 5 minutes. Get Zyori's Zoom details, and then when the timer is up, just turn off our webcams and re-log in, and we'll just go audio for that
This
5
is
minutes
why I
while we
don't.
redo
This is
Zoom.
why I don't. See, Zyori set us up for failure, guys.
He
He
did.
actually
and now
set
he's
us
in the
up.
game. So.
It's true. It's true.
He's in a fucking Dota game. It's
Alright.
fine.
Hold
When
on,
it turns
it's-
off, we'll make it. We'll make it.
I
work.
have it. I have it in my key pass. I can send it to you.
All right, perfect.
Send it
Great.
on Discord
I
because
think-
I can't access anything else right now because.
Yes, sir.
Why
Mike,
don't we
this
just
is a
answer a question that requires, like a full screen something, we just look at the tournaments, put it up on Liquipedia, and then just recall the.
That's actually
Zoom.
not a bad thing to bring up, though. It's like, who's at all the tournaments? Liquid, I think, them and Newbie were direct invites to Star Ladder. Obviously, winning TI kind of helps, and also coming second, of course, for Newbie. So they'll be at Star Ladder, and then neither of them are going to PGL. Kind of makes sense. And then
All right,
Plus
cams are
we
gonna
have-
look a little fucked up for a sec. Just
And
bear
they're both going to be in Hamburg.
they both go to Hamburg, and then they both go to Dota Pit. So
Yeah.
pretty hype if you guys are looking to watch maybe a TI Grand Finals matchup. Lots of opportunities. In fact, I think Newbie plays their first game tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they do. They play against VGJ Thunder, the Chinese, of course, in DPL Season 4, which I'm having trouble watching because they don't have a ticket. So hopefully that gets fixed by tonight. But yeah, it's going to be great. Did you guys catch a lot of qualifiers? You've been watching those things, or just no?
I was watching Hellraisers actually. They were doing very good but recently. I forget what qualifier it was in, but they were in the finals of it, and I believe was it Brax and Mott were casting it. But
Yeah, it was Dota Pit.
Oh,
All right,
those
sorry to
ones, yeah.
hijack this amazing episode so far of What the Duck. I have switched accounts. Do I need to re-log in or something? Because I see the timer still
I think we
showing.
have to
It's still
redo.
ticking away up there, man. I don't know. I'm getting a
So
little
tell me,
worried here.
just tell me what to do, pimp. Okay, this
Have
is
you
all up
switched
to
accounts? It says you're still
You
Shannon's
kill,
gotten.
Hold on.
Yeah, you kill the meeting.
I definitely switched accounts. 100%.
Okay.
Andrew
because-
Campbell.
That's fine.
Now I
you
need to
make
start
a new
like
meeting.
a new thing. So how do
Yeah,
I do
you
this
need to
without
start a new-
fucking everything up? Okay.
Just
It's
like,
gonna be horrible.
Uncheck everything that you have for video stuff right now, and just redo them.
I'm just
While
going
we
to the
continue
intro
talking.
screen. This is fine.
This
I'm
is
ending
definitely
meeting.
against the terms of service.
So I'm
You
ending
guys
meeting
are
and starting a new
sharing
one, right?
account details.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I'm
End
gonna
meeting
tell.
for all.
Yes, very
Oh.
good.
I hate
we
this.
should-
Zyori.
we should
join
Can
in
can
the
you guys
same
please
order.
tweet at Zyori TV?
Yeah, we
and
have
tell
to
him he's a
join in the
piece
same
of
order,
shit?
then everything is good.
Yes.
yeah, okay. Which
All
order
right,
did
okay.
I put?
I was last.
Oh,
I was
wait,
last.
Okay.
Was I second?
I was second last, I think.
I think you were first, Purge, and then it's me. I think.
Okay, let's do it.
Invite.
Go,
Copy
Kev.
URL. I have to put it. I'm gonna send it to Pimp, and he can send it to you guys.
Okay, this is really good.
Okay,
guys.
I'm
okay.
literally sweating right now, by the way. I am drenched in
Okay,
sweat.
we're starting with Purge. And then there is
Trent.
Then it's me, I think.
Trent. And then
And
there
then me.
is
Okay,
Shane.
did you click it, Purge?
Wait,
Not
have
yet.
you
Where's
have
the
you
link?
clicked it, Trent?
In your
What?
Discord. No,
I sent it
no,
to you in
hold
Discord.
Up. Hold up. We need Purge.
Come on,
to
guys. We can do this.
Purge first.
Get it together.
This is like counting in Twitch chat.
We can do this,
I
guys.
pressed the link.
All right.
Okay,
Now
are
I'm
you
gonna
in?
press the link.
I haven't loaded yet. Then
Yeah,
You
he
should
hasn't
probably
loaded
wait a
yet.
second.
We should wait.
What's wrong with your connection?
It has to connect. All right,
oh
I'm in.
God, it has that stupid fucking sound. Oh,
All right, I'm in.
okay.
All right, I'm
Hey,
next.
Shane,
It's
you
also
go.
lowering my
One
audio.
second.
I don't know why.
All right, everybody else.
Hold
Let's
on,
go.
She's loading.
We have an episode to do. Jesus, guys. Zairi's trying
my
to fuck
coffee.
it up for everybody. Let's make sure.
It's not loading. All right, hold on.
All right, Shane.
Yeah, I have to leave again. God damn it,
Oh, you're
Shane.
ruining everything.
God damn it, Shane. This is so
This is
bad.
what happens when you make somebody produce 30 minutes before when they're supposed to fucking do it. All right, Shane is in.
The price of
Okay.
not having Zairi on the
Yes,
show.
sir, I
guys.
am on the move.
We thought it was worth it.
This
Turns
makes
out
it
it's not.
better. Let's be real.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
good now. We're good.
All right, let's see if this works. All right, we're good.
Did we do it?
Excellent.
that's
Well done,
amazing,
everybody.
guys.
This
Do we
is
actually
why
have it
Moonduck is
correctly?
such a great studio. We persevere through the worst conditions, which we put ourselves in consistently. So thank you again for joining us. All right, so where were we? I wasn't listening to the last 5 minutes of conversation you guys said. You're talking about some tournaments. Is that right?
There were tournaments and qualifiers. Lots of games to watch. I watched a lot, casted a lot. I have to
Do-
say, shout out to Moonduck for having 2 casters on every game. Because frankly, I'm tired of tuning into streams to one caster. It's brutal. It's boring.
Yeah,
I'm
solo
sorry.
casting is pretty much the worst
It
thing
sucks.
in
It's not the
existence.
caster's fault, but you gotta get 2 people. Yeah, maybe you go do 1 or 2 games. I had to do a couple solo casts. That's cool. You know, I understood there was no one else up or anything. But I'm talking like days in a row where the same streams have the same people by themselves for like 6 hours at a time. Can't do that. It's just it's not gonna work, man.
I mean, if you
It's
don't
a-
allocate
it's a
budget
budget
to the
reason.
co-caster, then
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
exactly. If
kinda
you're not
gets
paying the
rough, you know?
co-caster, I get it. I mean, I don't want to go on there and take money away from some play-by-play guy, but you know, I've got my own games and stuff. It's just brutal.
I watched one recently, and he was like AFK for like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like there was just silence for like a full 2 minutes, and I was just like, I thought there was nobody casting, and he was just like auto spectating.
You get burnt out. I mean, that's the thing about solo casting, that obviously not that many people do it. Well, at least not to a high degree so that people actually watch. So take like a duo cast, right? A normal dual cast. You're not going to have much space in between talking. Like a normal sport, like let's say football, there's like 10, 15 seconds sometimes you don't say anything, right? Basketball, a little bit as well. You don't have that at all in Dota. So you kind of have to do it in a solo cast, or else it's just you spewing bullshit constantly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what people end up doing.
That's what I do anyway.
That's a different story, but you know.
personal experience from Shane here, right?
So can we go over the winners pretty quickly here for each specific tournament in each region?
Well, what's the very first tournament coming up? It's Star Ladder, right? It starts on the 12th to the 15th. They had their qualifiers pretty early on, I think, because I don't really remember much of these. VG Gaming took them. Man, VG Gaming looks so strong. VG Gaming is king of China right now. Obviously, newbie haven't played, so we can wait for that. But in between us casting those Chinese qualifiers and then watching some of the other games, VG Gaming just looks amazing.
They look
They're without a doubt the
quite
best
good.
team.
I mean, LGD was looking quite good, but then Vici just dumpstered them. Like they were
Yes.
playing a different game completely.
What do you guys think of OG at the moment? They look pretty shaky in a lot of the games I've been
Very
watching.
sketchy.
Yeah,
They got
it's
mostly
unusual.
beaten by Secret though. Secret is super hot right now, and they like when they lost, it was actually to Secret.
Well, I mean,
Wait,
they were
wait.
on a little bit of hashtag vacay with Fly, I think. And then they came
Yeah,
in what,
possibly,
like
yeah.
3 days and started playing qualifiers. So.
That's
Plus-
honestly the best Instagram follow I've ever done in my life.
Oh, I know.
It's
They're amazing.
For sure.
I'm not hating.
Va-
I
I'm on
love
vacay with Fly all year.
Yeah.
Plus, Resolution's playing a new role, so
Yep.
obviously he was like top tier carry, but it's going to take him a little bit of time to adjust. I feel like.
He was one of the best mids in the world for a long time as well.
Yeah, but that
but
was years ago, right?
That
Yeah,
was like
that's true.
2 years in between. right?
I'm not saying he can't eventually become like top 3 mids in the world. I think he will, but he's maybe not there yet. It'll take a little bit of time to get
Yeah.
like fully used to everything.
So Star Ladder, the direct invites were Liquid and Newbie, like you were saying, and then Secret wins the EU qualifier. Navi CIS qualifier, one of their 2 qualifier wins.
That's right.
Complexity
Navi
from the
was back.
NA region, SG from South America, Vici Gaming China, and Mineski SCA. So anything
That was when they beat the Dire. When they were still the Dire before they were Optic Gaming, they beat them 2-0 in that finals.
complexity, yeah.
Yeah.
So Navi wins 2
tournaments for
qualifiers though. We can let's talk about Navi, and then we'll talk about NA in general if you
Okay.
want.
Sounds good.
So is Navi back, friends, or is that too
I would
early
say
to
so.
tell?
I mean, if you actually look how they play, yeah, they bumped out of Dota Pit pretty hard, but the way that they play usually is really cool right now. I feel like, I mean, right now we're kind of ahead of a really big patch, but they're super kind of like they play like Russian guys do, like run at them, but they actually have like very structured gameplay around it. Very different from the old Navi where they just ran around.
I think they definitely play better, but it's honestly like what the team has been. How old is it? 3 weeks? 3 or 4 weeks old. The team in general, so they're pretty new, and there's always this kind of honeymoon phase, which it sounds stupid, but it definitely is 100% a thing. Like when teams get together, no, like the ragey guy isn't as ragey, the whiny guy isn't as whiny,
Yeah.
and everyone's having a great time. But eventually, the 2 months down the line is when you really see if the team
Even
is
that
gonna
first
make it or not.
qualifier loss can hit a team really hard.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
that emotional stuff.
Plus, they've got Roger. That guy was so legit at TI
Yes.
So good
on Empire. Like, I barely knew anything about him before that run, but I watched him some of the games, and he's just insane. He played super well the whole time. So I feel like if he's really on next level about like game sense and knowing like where metagame is, then it can definitely help pick up some of the slack if the rest of the team feels lost. And if you're like for Seneko, General Dendy, they've been on this team for so long, and I have no idea what their confidence is at the moment, but I feel like if you lose a lot for like 6 months, then you feel less confident, and maybe pulling in a new player like that who recently had a lot of success could really form you while they're all still super talented, form you around like a good playstyle and strategy.
It's I was kind of weird that Roger and Taniko kind of play the same role. Like they're both kind of like the Earth Spirity, Sankey 4s, but it seems to be working out with Taniko as 5 actually. Like way better than I expected.
I just want to see more Pudge. Roger's Pudge is so fun to watch. Like I don't even care if they win or lose. Like it's just amazing. Like, I love Pudge. It's great. If teams play Pudge, I'm a happy guy, honestly. We're gonna see them at LANs playing Pudge. It's gonna be great.
I don't think so.
Come on,
Serious
Chance.
business at lands, JJ. How dare you? No,
Dude, they actually have a pretty good win rate with Pudge.
yeah, Pudge is, and that's just a Navi staple in general, right? It doesn't even have to be Dendy necessarily playing it.
No, it's Roger.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. So
Yeah,
as
yeah,
far
yeah.
as the NA region, we have like a bunch of these teams that I feel like NA is a weird region because you have like every other region for the most part, it's like 6 to 8 teams. If you're inviting, let's say, a bunch of teams to a tournament that you're going to want to invite. NA, you have EG, which let's just say they're like a direct invite. They're kind of in a different tier of everybody else. Then you have these like 4, maybe 5 teams, and then literally nothing in NA. It just drops off completely. Like there's aren't even enough teams physically. You know what I mean?
For like a
But-
16 qualifier, yeah.
Yes. Even like
Yeah.
an 8 team, you struggle to get that 8th team, I feel like.
And that's just a product of SA now being its own region. Because before that
Yeah,
wasn't really a
that's
problem, right?
That's a really good point. Yeah.
And then now you have to divide because there just wasn't a pool big enough for there wasn't a reason to put in that much effort for players if you weren't going to make it into that pool. And now suddenly those pools just got doubled essentially. So there should be room for your some of those teams to pull themselves up. Like Iceberg, I think, was one that was kind of trying. And they're going to have sounds like a newer roster too to try and keep that thing going. Obviously Brax was there, but then he left that. And then where's Monkeys right now? He's on some team.
That's another problem, right?
The Leviathan
They all,
team.
Oh,
they all
Leviathan,
just kind
that's
of
it, yeah.
jump around. They switch rosters so regularly. You know,
DC.demon hash.
Oh yeah, great stuff. Right
Whoa.
before the roster lock. Fantastic.
We'll get to that, guys. Don't worry. We got a whole topic set aside just for that subject alone. But
Rafi, he's on our team. All right, thanks, Rafi.
wait, what land did Optic qualify for? I'm going through.
One of them.
So Star Ladder is complexity. This is for NA, obviously. Perfect World is complexity. ESL1 is EG. I don't
it's
remember.
Star Ladder. No, they got invited.
Dota-
No,
They're
they're
invited to
invited to
Manila
that-
Invitational.
Yeah, the invitational thing, and then they just lost to Immortals. I thought they were gonna win that one.
Okay,
I was
so
watching
they-
that grand final.
So
but-
they have and Immortals qualify for both Dota Pit and PGL. So Optics actually hasn't qualified for anything, right?
I believe that's correct.
Okay, I could have sworn
King's Cup. That's right. They won King's Cup, which therefore qualifies them for the summit.
the
directly,
summit. Oh,
right?
yeah,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So yes,
Right.
thank you, chat. Good save. Yeah,
Yeah,
forgot
but
about that one.
it's pretty cool to see the NA region kind of flip flop. It's not like just one team winning every single time, which has been the case historically. So that's a pretty cool region to watch now, for sure.
One thing I'm super scared about is like game theory style, where let's say you have like an NA region where you have like 4 teams kind of spreading the wins and also getting similar placing results. So they're gonna end up on a similar basis on the Valve qualifying points. So I have this fear that also because NA doesn't have this many tournaments, and for example DreamHack or the Perfect World Minor are prioritizing the local teams, that's gonna be like 4 or 5 NA teams which are all, let's say, from like place 10 to 15 in the Valve rankings, and none of them is going to get an invite to TI. And then 4 of these really good teams, like let's say top 16 teams in the world, like 4 of those are just going to play for 1 or 2 slots at TI. That's one of those things I really dislike about the forced regional things. I have no solution to that. It's just one of those things that I feel like could really happen, and it would hurt NA so much, because it's amazing to watch these teams, but they're all similarly skilled. So yeah,
It's
It
kind
would
of
kinda
hilarious to me how
fair points.
money's just gone, right? No one talks about money right now at all. All we talk about is
Yeah.
qualifier points. But those qualifier points are going to end up mattering to so few teams, despite us talking about it like the whole year. I don't know. It feels kind of odd. Before it was like the gravity of this tournament. Oh, what does this tournament mean for their
Mhm.
direct TI invite, or what does it mean for their Kiev major invite? It used to be tiered throughout the rest of the year. You still have to do well at these things if you want to try and get direct invited to like some of these things down the road. But organizers right now, tournaments, I'm sure in February and March have probably already sent out some direct invites, right? You know, getting a little bit later, even possibly. So no matter how well you do over these next couple of months, it's kind of unlikely that any team that isn't like already tier 1.5 is ever going to get direct invited to anything.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, because you do have to
There's
schedule
no
way ahead of
majors to
time.
block it off
Yeah.
anymore, right? Like think about Mouse is the perfect example. When they were at FNM and they came second, suddenly they got invited to all this shit after the majors, but that's not going to happen this year. They're like, oh, that's cool. I mean, we kind of invited some people, so that's great that you guys won Hamburg, but our slots are kind of full.
Yes, it's not
Sorry.
necessarily just being tier 1. It's just you can be. A lot of times you can get away with inviting people that just bring in a lot of viewership, right?
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be surprised, like based on these 2 qualifier wins, that you see Navi direct invited to a couple tournaments in the future. That may have something to do with also, or be a byproduct of teams declining their offers for a direct invite. But I think that's definitely a factor. Like Navi, I think out of every single team is probably the most attractive for any tournament organizer to have in their tournament, for sure.
I mean,
Wait,
one thing
like
to keep
more
in
so
mind,
than like Liquid, you mean?
Yes, more so than Liquid, for sure.
for sure.
Didn't they do some? Wasn't there some research done by that Vikram guy about fan bases, and Liquid were like the highest.
In
I mean,
Dota?
easily they have
Yeah, in Dota,
insane
yeah.
following.
I'm pretty sure in Dota.
But
it
I'm
was-
pretty sure if you actually look at the whole world, like I have no idea what exactly Wick chose. Because if you think Liquid comes from StarCraft, they're super big. They're like insanely big, and they have all these big esports titles. They have very very broad games. And Navi's obviously like Dota first and foremost, and they have a really strong Counter-Strike team, even coming back like 15 years. But if you look where, like, for these 2 teams, or like these 2 games, Navi is insanely big. Also, one thing I want to tackle is that I feel like teams are not going to turn down direct invites even to minors, because it's the best ratio of not having to play qualifiers. So like time for points, this ratio is insanely good for teams.
Yeah, but
Except
what if
you kind of miss major qualifiers for that.
Exactly, yeah.
So I feel like that's going to be a lot of teams just accepting any invite they can get. And also one of the things that we have to keep in mind is where if you look at some of the teams owned by some certain holdings, which also make tournaments, it's going to get really dodgy real soon. It's going to be one hell of a game. Like I wonder if there's rules, because I don't know if there's rules, but there's going to be a lot of like potential interest issues, especially from Perfect World. Honestly, like they did 3 qualifier slots already for China, or like two qualifier slots and 1 direct invite or something for like a 10 team LAN.
Yeah.
So 3 out of 10, like, oh, I don't know about that stuff. And Dream League does it also. Like, yeah, it's gonna be one hell of a ride, I would say. Like,
Yeah, Dream League's like what, 1 American team, or it's a little ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah. They posted on Reddit about that and said, they planned for it to be
Yeah.
this way, and they kind of explained themselves, and it did make sense, to be honest.
Well, it's
Does-
kind of like they're the same issue with Hamburg, where it was Hamburg.
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 The same issue with Hamburg,
I come from
there.
I'm Hamburg. Rawr, rawr, rawr.
where
guys
it
are
was
horrible.
a little close to the new format. So I will give them leniency. But yeah, in the future, as you know, JJ was pointing out earlier, the fact that these later tournaments should have and are planning to have 12 to 16 teams. I'm so excited for that. It's going to be so hyped to have these 12 to 16 team majors.
Oh yeah.
How do you think it'll go? Like, say later on in the year, they already have invited, say EG, and EG
Mhm.
have already qualified for TI with their points. What happens in that situation? Do
Well,
EG
they take home $500,000.
money. Yeah, easy.
Whatever.
But like, as in, do they still go to the LAN? Can they drop out? Like in this situation, because they don't want to show.
It depends on if they typically tournaments will send an agreement that
Okay.
the team will sign, so it kind of puts them under contract. I don't know if every tournament does that, but then there's also the factor of if you want to, like, yeah, if you already make TI and it's March, maybe you take a couple more tournaments off if you're able to, but you still want to play because we've seen teams like, what was it, Secret in TI 5, I want to say they took like a month off before TI and they just got shit on. So you don't want to go through that either. You want
Hey, they looked good in those shades. All right, they came out. Yeah, it was worth it, I'm sure.
All right, so now that we're done talking about the qualifiers, let's move on to the roster locks. I have a picture to share with you guys.
Oh,
If you could,
let me just turn.
This
on
is
the
gonna be
camera.
great,
if,
guys.
if you could go to Discord, I will send you the link. As you can
Okay.
see there, I'm going to enable it now. Can you guess who this is? Can any of you guess who this is? This is not updated, by the way. This is not up to date.
Well, I know, but
This is
obviously
not
we all-
accurate
I think we all know.
information. Like, my God, dude. Like, come on. What the fuck is going on here? All right, so
Oh, chat got it right.
like, Jesus Christ. I was looking at it the other day. I'm like, how is this even remotely possible? Like, how? That is incredible. Just mind-boggling. But yeah, the roster locks today. Demon is now on DC. He replaces Moonman. I'm not sure if it was a kick. Did they say it was a kick or did he leave?
It sounded like he left in his own tweet, but I
Okay.
don't know
So
the statement.
in general, like that roster, and there's a couple other rosters which I won't get into that I think will not work out. Like originally when it was announced, it's
wow,
three
you're just gonna
offlaners,
tease them like that?
just three
That's not how this
offlaners
works.
in a roster playing the 3-4-5. When has that ever worked? Ever? You know, you have Moon Meander, Bulba, and MSS. MSS is probably right now at least the best offlaner of the three, so it makes sense that he's the offlaner. But then you have two supports that, I mean, is Bulba? He can be a good support, I guess. But
I mean, I casted their NA qualifiers for Dota Pit, and honestly, Moonmeander played extremely well both of the games. I think they lost 2-0, but he played like a roaming Winter Wyvern. He got so many kills across the map, and like he seemed like he was playing very well. But maybe drafting, I'm not sure. There was other things going on, so who knows what it was.
I'm just gonna say an opinion right now. Okay, I think generally speaking, players do not build very good teams. They don't know how to build good teams because they focus so much on friendship and skill. And that's the two things that they value the most. They don't think about chemistry. They don't think about personality. They don't think about anything that makes a cohesive team at all. That's my experience, like firsthand.
Okay, so what's the perfect mixture of a team?
You want me to build a roster right now? No, what I'm saying is...
Tell me what dimensions of like personality and skill and stuff.
Okay, so the first thing you find is a captain, right? And you have to base everything off of that captain's personality. So you have somebody like PPD. You don't want to put probably somebody that has what's the right?
You think of someone with a strong personality who you wouldn't want on the same team as
you
PPD.
don't want a person with a strong personality coupled with PPD, in my opinion. For example, right? If you have a different captain like Fly, you can have somebody with a. If you have somebody like Fly, you can have somebody like a No-Tail who has a stronger personality. That works very well. They mesh very well. Plus, they're very good friends. I think players in general just lose sight of that when they're building these rosters. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I mean, we're bad at being social as a whole, so I'm not surprised that they have no idea how to like theory craft what's the best way to match personalities.
So where I'm going with this, and I know this is never going to happen in Dota, and that's fine. I've already resigned to that.
I was pressing the wrong button to talk.
Welcome to the
just didn't
podcast.
care.
Shane.
Hello, Shane.
But in general, like players just have all the control, right? They build their own rosters, they build their own destiny, and a lot of times they don't know what they're doing. right? There's nobody to come in there and say, hey, this is actually a terrible move. This is never going to work out. If an org does that, the players will not appreciate it, right? There needs to be a little bit of a mix there, I feel like, if the teams want to be successful on a more consistent basis.
So basically, you're saying we went from all orgs, they had all the power. And then we've gone to players have all the power. But maybe there's some happy dance in the middle where the org could actually be a benefit, especially with all these qualifiers and a player.
I know
actually
it's crazy, Trent. I know it's a crazy notion, but
it's a very interesting topic, I think, because to me, I want to give all the power to the players, right? I think it's like someone who's such a fan of all the players and everything, and you want these people to be successful, and you want them to have everything that's in kind of like deserved in a sense, because they're the ones who are actually playing. But there is that case of just like, holy shit, there's a lot of qualifiers. Someone has to handle that kind of stuff. You need someone in the background. Probably can't just be a manager. Like VG Storm, of course, with Jack now is a pretty prime example. I saw them tweeting out stuff like hiring marketing, hiring graphics. It's like, oh shit, this team's getting real. They got a team house now. They're all living together. They're putting up Instagram photos of their Adidas swag. They got extra tall doors from all the NBA players coming to give them high fives before the games. Like, the shit is lit. Like they're ready to go.
So again, I'm not saying orgs should have the control. If anything, the players should have more control than the orgs. But right now, there's no control for orgs. Zero.
In my experience, the way teams are formed is usually in high duress situations. Like there's this period after TI where there's like 3 or 4 days where all the players or maybe less, like 2 days where all the players are still in the hotel. And I've spoken to like a lot of players during this period, and most of them don't know whether they're leaving the team, whether they're kicked, what's happening, right? So everyone's like talking to everyone else in secret, usually in Twitter DMs, like someone follows someone, then this happens. And like, this isn't like, it's more of a panic. It's like, oh shit, I have to get this guy on my team or he's going to join these guys. And, oh shit, do we want Miracle? I don't know. We have like 12 hours, we have to get Miracle, so instead of like a bit of forethought or planning or anything, it's more of like panic.
I mean, the after party is the best example, right? Like Moomander flew in for the after party. That's why he was there. And then, like, for example, when I'm at events throughout the year, players will come up and they'll talk to you. And like, I've had nice conversations. I enjoy talking like Kezu and stuff like that. And when I run into him at the after party, it's literally just like, hey man, I gotta go. I'm working. And I'm like, yep, you do your thing. Cause like, they're just buzzing around, man. They're trying to get that team. They're in panic mode. It's exactly what it is. It's like sirens in their head are flashing. Like, I cannot be the guy that is left out. I don't want to be like AUI or something. But that's like, what happened.
Honestly, they should have some sort of, like, this is what Shannon was saying. Yeah, you want to give all the power to the players to build their teams, but if they're building them while they're like half cut in a nightclub, you know what I mean? Like, there is some questions to be had there, right?
That's actually an amazing example. It's so true, too. It is actually 100% accurate. The after party is like where 80% of the player shuffle actually occurs, which is crazy.
Oh shit! Maybe Team Secret will work again. Go on, RTZ. It'll be fine. Yeah, let's go.
Well, that's the thing. Like, players are pretty gullible. I mean, it's not just players; it's just young people in general, right? They're pretty gullible and they're easy to manipulate and easy to convince. Just on like, I bet if RTZ didn't have like one conversation with Secret at some point.
Yeah.
And it was said with PPD or somebody from EG, the decision would be totally different. It's just like based on the day, his mood, all that good stuff. So it's
usually after you lost in a tournament as well. So you're emotionally kind of all over the place already. Like,
true. Yeah.
So vulnerable.
There's probably a lot of blaming as well. Like, you'll blame X person on the team that you think was the problem, and therefore he needs to get kicked and you need to get somebody better than him. Or
Dude, I
heard that a lot.
Yeah. So you guys hear a lot of stuff behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
Me, for that year and a half that I owned the team, I hear a lot of very specific, like very detailed stories about people they absolutely hate, people that screw them over. And then, at the same time, like, I got to keep in mind that there is a second part of this story. And then I hear the other part of the story, and now I have a better idea of who is actually correct. It's just so much fucking drama, dude. It's actually so pathetic. But it is the world that we live in. So.
It's so interesting to hear the other players. Like, I can remember one guy got kicked at TI, and I was like, someone else goes, I don't think he was the problem. I don't know why they would kick him. I think that's idiotic. And I'm just like, oh, geez. All right.
But that's what happens when there's 0% control for orgs, right? Like, again, like the NBA, probably not the best example, but orgs have a lot of control. But at the same time, players right now are making a resurgence to where, like LeBron, he's signing like 2-year contracts with an opt-out of a year, so he can just basically go year to year, get the most money, and he can choose wherever he wants to go every year. So he's empowering a lot of players to do that, right? So that's kind of flip-flop situation, but same concept. So it's an interesting dilemma. But
What if they made the transfer kind of period a few weeks after TI? Like, as in they gave teams like time to cool out, chill out a little bit,
We
and
did
then
this year,
and
didn't
then
we?
think about the decisions. How far away was it this
There
year?
wasn't one. Was there?
Oh?
Like, aren't we just?
Isn't
We're
it
just
today?
locking. We're
It's
locking
today.
now,
I guess, yeah.
supposedly. And the
I mean, the thing is,
drop-
you still do these decisions pretty much on the night when you lose, right?
Mhm.
I mean, basically, that's what it comes down to. Like, the process of blaming someone or like trying to analyze however that works, why you lost, and then finding conclusions for that, and then getting someone on that position that you want to get kicked. Like, it happens like right there. So yeah, maybe it's not officially unlocked, or maybe you're officially like cooled down from Valve, but it's not gonna change anything, I don't think.
What if
People are-
I
like,
run a
people are gonna
party
just do
a
these
few weeks
decisions.
after TI? Like
Yeah,
5 weeks
that's a good
after
choice.
TI, we have another party. And at
We have
that
the after
party,
party,
they-
alright,
Oh,
we're good.
nice. Okay. We should just have
it
roster lock
works.
parties. Screw like hubs. Now like
Yeah,
names
hell
and stuff
yeah.
are done. Let's have roster lock hubs, and we'll just host this huge Moonduck party. We'll stream
Oh,
it
yeah.
live. Invite all the players. Everyone who's kicked.
We'll get like big
What?
Zoom cameras to like
Yeah, it'll
and
be
some
like a
lip readers
mixer.
and stuff. Be like, I think
Our
Andy
TC's
just
crying.
said. All right,
Yeah, they just
host.
said.
Would you like to
kicked
one.
direct us to a new location now that we had a dead silence?
I was so we can talk a bit. I'll talk a bit about Captain's Draft, just very brief, and then Purge, you can take Midas mode, I assume, since Slex isn't here.
Okay, I'll do my
Captain's
best.
Draft. I don't want to announce anything. There are stuff in the works though. Qualifiers might be very soon, actually, sooner than I was imagining, just because it is impossible to schedule stuff. But expect that in a couple weeks, maybe. And then I heard I saw a lot of comments about the actual LAN itself. Not ready to release details, but yes, there will be a live audience. Again, we'll be announcing stuff soon. So as far as Midas mode, Purge gamers.
Well, Slacks is saying in chat that I can't speak of Midas mode because I mean honestly, Slacks has been
Okay.
putting in more work by far than I have. So all I'm gonna say
He's
is
really
that
salty. Maybe he should have been here. Oh.
yeah,
Oh.
guess you shouldn't have had
how's
another
that
job.
work you have in Sweden? No,
But
good for you.
I mean, it's gonna be great. Honestly, I think me and Slacks put our head together a lot in terms of like designing the format and things like that. And all the teams that we have are super amazing. That's mostly thanks to Slacks, and things are coming together well. And we're excited. That's pretty much all I'll probably say.
Yeah, he works his ass off.
He actually works insanely hard.
Yeah.
He's been spending. There's many days where I'll be like, "Oh, Slacks, you want to play a pub?" And he'll be like, "Oh, I've just been working on Midas mode stuff for the afternoon or the whole day." And he does that so often that I feel real guilty because he's doing like 10 times more work than I am. So he spends many days on
Did you
it.
see his Totino's tweet?
I
Has it gotten
don't
any
completely
likes
remember.
yet?
Oh.
Did
Can
it get
you
the
can you
follow?
fill us in?
No, he just tweeted at Totino's asking for a sponsorship, essentially, and he posted a picture
Oh.
of his dog, promising that he'd eat 100 Totino pizza
I
rolls.
see.
That is the dream, though,
Ah.
Totino's.
One question about is Naha still working on it? Yeah, kind of. I'm gonna work on the fine tuning of like of how like the market stuff works with him. So haven't gotten around to that yet, but we'll get it done soon probably. And I'm definitely gonna reach out to Nahas for that one.
All right,
Well, that's
I
all
need
I have
to
info-wise.
find this tweet and retweet it here.
Oh yeah, I actually haven't either.
All right, there we go. It's retweeted in case you guys hadn't seen it yet. It's got
Please
the Bugle
join the
Boy,
world.
also known as Totino's boy now.
Oh boy.
I mean, his dog can be sponsored. That's the beauty of it, right? You get this. You don't even have to use your own face anymore. Just use your fucking dog's cute, stupid face. Get it sponsored by Totino's pizza rolls. I mean, he eats them. Who did
What,
he
the
take it
dog
from?
or Jake?
No, yeah, both. But
Yes.
the dog. Oh yeah, it was Zyori. He just like almost bit off Zyori's finger trying to eat this really, really hot pizza roll from his hands.
What? I don't even know what pizza roll is.
You need to Google it, my friend. It's a delicacy in America. I'll just leave it at that. I used to eat that like nonstop back in the day.
What would its Irish equivalent be? Do you think?
What's
Like, how
pizza
could you
roll?
explain it to him?
Oh, that's
Do you know what a
amazing.
hot pocket is?
No.
Okay,
All right, imagine a really
Uh,
small potato filled with pizza toppings.
potato. Why potato?
How's that?
He's
It's
just
bread.
gone
It's-
full.
I was just going for an Irish joke there, but
Mhm.
it's all right. It's all we eat here too, anyway. It's all very Nova Scotian food.
So it's just like cheese and tomato on bread, and they call it pizza.
It's
There's
like
probably some little piece of pepperoni in there.
yeah,
It's like
cheese
deep fried,
pepperoni. It's
you
deep
know?
fried in this little tiny thing, and you just pop them in your mouth, and they're super delicious and terrible
That
for
actually
you.
sounds amazing.
It is amazing. You would love it, even though you can't eat it because of your godforsaken diet. So I think the
You could,
last
like,
topic. Oh, if
use
you
a
want to keep
straw.
talking about Totino's, please. I can go on forever.
Get straw out the insides, probably.
No, guys, we should talk
we go.
about them when we actually have the sponsorship deal done.
Okay.
Yes,
Good point.
yes.
If we can get Totino's and Pepto-Bismol together, 'cause that is a great combo, right? You eat too many Totino pizza rolls, you get a stomach ache.
I don't think they're gonna want you to say that.
One day,
All right, we're
there will
done.
be a
No,
sponsor that will accept that. Like,
You don't
if
see
it's
Tums with all this monster energy or
does
something.
Pepto-Bismol, the company that makes it, do they have anything food related that we can couple with it? Because then they wouldn't mind.
Like a combo
know?
deal kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably own some drinks subsidiary or something.
Dude,
you know?
anytime you advertise like a medical thing that relieves negative problems related with food, and you have it as also a sponsor for a food item, it's gonna make that food item look like it, even if it's completely unrelated. It could be like broccoli and Pepto-Bismol. Like, oh, am I gonna need some Pepto-Bismol if I eat too much broccoli? Like, that's what
One
you're gonna
day,
think.
one day,
It's not gonna work.
Pepto-Bismol, the cherry variety, of course, will be considered a dessert and not just for diarrhea. So
Did you know that it's like really difficult to get in the UK? When we flew through the UK, we bought some Pepto-Bismol, and they like super interrogated about us. They're like, "Are you gonna
Really?
get high in this shit?" Yeah.
wait, oh,
Yeah.
you brought it from home? You mean?
No, we bought it at like a pharmacy, a Boots.
Oh, I thought
at
they didn't
the-
even
at an
have it
airport.
in Europe because
No,
everybody
they
I
have-
talked
they
to,
have
they've
these
never heard of it. Huh?
It's like it's on regulatory lockdown. It's like behind the counter and shit. They have to like
If-
check
if
your
you're-
ID.
if
to
you're
be
How do you
18.
get
certain
high?
things-
You just get ultra constipated if you take too much. That's it. You just kill yourself. There's nothing
Have
high
you
about
tried?
it. Yes,
Maybe it's
actually,
because
I've
it
taken
tastes
too
too
much.
good. It tastes
Yeah,
too good, and kids just want to drink.
I think
it
I've
all the time.
oversold how good it tastes because people actually think it tastes good, or that I think it tastes good. It does not. It's very chalky. Cherry makes
Oh,
it
so
bearable,
chalky.
but you know what can
You're
you do?
ruining our sponsorship potential, dude. Keep it
I-
down.
I know.
It's so good.
I mean, I've already tried. I tweeted at them. They liked my tweet, and that's it. They're not going to even retweet it. So
Oh, bastards.
we've gone past the point of no return at this point. All right, the last thing I want to talk about. I do have a little thing I want to like. I took some notes about this. Does anybody want to explain? You guys all know what this is going to be about, I guess. The whole Grant thing, the quote unquote drama, if you will. Does anybody want to explain to people that don't know what's going on what happened?
Yeah, that was way too vague. All right, so basically, there's this ongoing debate within the Dota scene about is it okay for a caster to stream, like cast a game that is live on Dota TV, and is it okay to do that? Because basically, technically it's Dota content. There's that Valve video policy that says that you can use Dota 2 in-game to profit from it. And that was originally created, like when I first started making YouTube videos, there was a lot of unknown whether or not it was legal or not to run YouTube ads on other video games, because it's technically their content. So back then I sent a couple emails to Valve saying like, can you guys give me permission to monetize your content so that if I get flagged on YouTube, I can fight it and earn a living from this. They never responded, but they eventually made that video policy so that it basically said, stop fucking emailing us. You guys are allowed to profit from Dota 2. Go ahead. So the argument is, does that apply, because it's technically in-game content, does that apply to people that either want to restream using Dota TV, make VODs from it and profit from it? Does it apply to streamers that aren't officially with the tournament? Are they allowed to cover it? For a very long time, it's basically been seen as the wrong thing to do. And recently, Grant tweeted saying that, you know what, I'm gonna do it. He said, I believe somebody else said this, so I assume it's a fact, but he said in a Reddit thread that Twitch was not going to accept DMCA's closing his or shutting off his channel if he does do that. So that's at least Twitch's side basically sounds like they're not going to get in the middle of it. And the argument is it okay to is it okay to do that on Grant's side? I believe Toby's also done it recently, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the situation. That's what's happening. So regardless of the people that are involved, we just want to talk about the circumstances about whether or not it's okay.
I think
Yeah.
it's not. The weird thing is there's a lot of misconceptions being thrown around, and it's actually a little bit more clear cut than you would realize. It's pretty much the TLDR is it's up to the tournament organizer. So
Yeah.
from like a legal aspect, Valve they don't own tournaments, right? They own the game. They don't own tournaments. And there's a new contract which all tournament organizers have to sign to be able to get a minor or a major, and I've seen this and I've signed it myself. There's a stipulation that says any Valve in-game casting of that said tournament needs a Dota TV equivalent, which pretty much means you have to be in the lobby to be able to cast it or to, stream it or
Yeah.
whatever.
Essentially, it means that, if you are providing coverage for this major or minor, because they are going to be Valve-sponsored events, then therefore you need to have free access to it, and that includes free access through Dota TV. So you can't, if you're not in Dota TV, therefore you can't be streaming it. It kind of comes down to that. And there's also this the way we put it with the tournament, it being on them, is that there's also with the licensing and everything, it basically says that Valve's not going to do anything. You're never going to hear anything about Valve about this, ever. Never going to happen. But there is a license given to the tournament organizer. So, for example, if I have Trent's tournament and I do all this work getting all these sponsors and Trent's tournament starts and then someone's streaming it, my license from Valve says that this is my tournament. And although the game assets and stuff are all Valve's, that's cool, the tournament shit is still mine. So, theoretically, I can take that pressure to stop it. And yes, so what does this mean for people like Bulldog who stream and comment pro matches too? Theoretically, if an organizer wanted to, they could stop them from doing that. There's a lot of there's just a lot of problems.
All right.
Yeah,
so
but we
that-
haven't really explained those enough as well. So basically, if Slacks slaves away for weeks and weeks to make Midas mode, and when Midas mode starts being broadcast, if someone rolls and is like, "Hey, Midas mode's pretty cool. I want to cast it on stream," and they turn on their stream and get a bunch of viewers because they're talented and good and funny, what they're doing is undercutting all of Slacks' hard work, because part of the way that Slacks is rewarded for working hard on Midas mode is by getting paid based on monetization that Moonduck does, whether it's Twitch subs, Twitch viewers, viewers of our content, followers that go to our Twitters. Those are going to happen if we have exclusive access to our tournament that we designed. If we don't design the tournament, that person who's now profiting from it by having material for their stream to cover will basically be taking that away. And yes, in some ways, a lot of that viewership probably wouldn't go to Midas mode anyways. But the argument is it how much is going to bleed into them? How many people would be forced to watch the Moonduck channel if we run Midas mode? It's basically the piracy argument. It's the same thing. Same thing as like downloading movies or something like that.
And
It's very
another kind of bad thing about it is, say for example, when I ran Ireland, when I offered it to Twitch, and they said, "Oh, how many viewers do you think you'll get for this tournament?" Right. So every tournament, to get their prize pool at all, to even have a start on a prize pool, they need to get sponsorship money, and they need to kind of make promises based off their expectations of their viewership. And when this sponsor is looking at, say for example, Twitch, and they're like, "Oh, why does this person have more than you guys?" It doesn't really matter if the person is better or worse. It's basically the sponsor saying, like, why am I giving you money for this when this guy's doing it for free? It's kind of it ruins your relationship with the sponsor, hurts organizers, and like at the end of the day, like it hurts Dota 2 as a whole if people can't run tournaments and can't continuously do it and have good relationships with sponsors. I think it's very bad for the scene in general if it continues.
It hurts the organizers. It probably is a benefit for the fans if streamers undercut it.
Yeah, but in the
Because,
short term, it's a short term.
In the short term, it's better, but yeah, in the long term, it's worse definitely. Because when you're streaming a tournament, you have all these overlays that you have to do. Those people gave you money to show those overlays to the viewers, and if somebody else streams in Dota TV, you're not going to have those overlays. So people aren't even going to know what the sponsor is. Those people won't get eyeballs on it, and it just kind of undercuts the whole thing. Not to mention, if you want to get somebody to have coverage, like let's say I want somebody to grind out the qualifiers, the first person I will contact is Trent, because I know that he'll sit there for 24 hours a day casting Dota 2, and I have to pay Trent money to make sure that he'll be there. If then somebody else comes along and only casts the best games and bleeds away the best viewership for the best games, that hurts Trent. It also disincentivizes me to even pay Trent in some ways. Like what would in some ways solve this whole problem is like if Grant wanted to cast it, he would throw the sponsor overlays on his stream. Like that would solve kind of some of the problems in some ways. Like maybe there's a solution, but
that's still entirely on the tournament organizer whether they want that to happen or not.
Okay, so I mean, one thing to keep in mind is that a tournament organizer builds a product that is the tournament, which is then broadcast. So you show the product to the broadcast. So let's say you're a tournament organizer who makes a very specific tournament, let's call it Captain's Draft. So you want to have a very specific way to broadcast this. Let's say you have good production value because you invest in people that bring some cool in-game stuff. You want to have people associate the tournament that you cast and bring on and the product with what you want them to do. It's not that someone else runs in and just runs a random show and has random stream overlays and has random sub counts where he possibly is very disrespectful to some casters because that's his casting style, or like disrespectful to some players, it looks bad on your tournament because people associate this casting with your tournament, with the product that you want to build. And it's very, very different from just having it open and saying, well, everyone watches whatever the hell they want, but it's on the discretion of the tournament organizer how they build their product. And that's being taken away if other people just come in and not even ask the tournament organizer if they're allowed to do that. So yeah, it's better for the viewers in a way that they can choose, because there is more choice. That's amazing. That's great. I love it. But at the same time, it's not fair to the TO because they know what product they want, and they build that product through casters that they contract.
I can kind of see the other side of the argument as well, though. Like, you know, you see these casters, and maybe some of them are new. Maybe they've had long shifts. Maybe they're not getting paid very much. Whatever the reason, and the quality isn't as high as Grand Stream. And Grand Stream is like really entertaining. I'm sure most of us watch it and really enjoy it, to be honest. But that's not the point, right? I think you have to think about long term. You have to think about sustainability. Maybe tournaments should pay the casters more. Maybe they should look for higher tier casters to cast their games. I'm not saying I don't know the solution, but it's all about looking long term. And this, like, Dota's a game we want to see it live for a long time. So you need to build a sustainable economy based off tournaments.
I think the entire conversation, people are missing the actual point. So I break it down to 3 points here. So from a legal standpoint, I think it's pretty clear cut. Tournament organizers can just choose to take down somebody's stream if they're breaking what's in the contract. The second thing is like the morality of it, right? You can argue one way or the other, and I don't think anybody here is even trying to, like, maybe we're trying to convince you one way or the other because we are tournament organizers and casters. We understand how the system works, and we all feel like, in general, if this snowballs out of control, it ends up hurting the integrity of the entire casting scene. But then the third point, which everybody's missing, from a realistic standpoint, the reason people are mad is because there are a lot of qualifiers being cast by like these third-party people that nobody wants to watch, right? Let's just say that. That's at least what Reddit is saying. And that is entirely on the tournament organizers or the casting studio that's hired to do it. Dota Pit is an amazing example. Who cast Dota Pit? Trent? Me, you,
Yes. Brax.
Mott, basically everybody in our studio. And there was one game I think we had to outsource to a third party because the schedules got all mixed up and it was just too much. Like literally nobody could physically do it. So other than that, it was everybody in house. You get what's advertised. Everybody knows what they're gonna get. And then there's these other tournaments where people. That's why people are complaining. That's why people are looking for people like Gran or Toby to be casting these games because they're not properly cast. And that has nothing to do with anything other than the studios or the tournament organizers that are hiring the studios. Like it's that simple. I think that's what most people are actually angry about. It's not the morality or the legal. I think because that's pretty clear cut for the most part. At least that's my perspective. But
Well, a lot of people in chat are basically arguing about whether or not there is legality. Does the legality back up the morality argument?
Basically, it comes down to the tournament license, because people will just look at the video policy and they say it's a game of Dota 2. It's in Dota TV.
So the video policy was the first thing that came out years ago.
Yes.
Now we're talking about the thing that tournament organizers sign according to Valve, correct?
Yeah, the new contract. Yeah.
Even without that new thing that talks about the Dota TV thing, if you read about through like the tournament license, there is you have a limited license as part of being the person who hosts this tournament to therefore, like, you have the rights over that tournament.
well, I think
Not the game assets and all that stuff,
let's
right?
forget about the contract. Let's forget about literally everything. Let's just change the people. Let's just substitute people in. Okay, forget about Grant. Forget about Toby. Let's say BTS casts Midas mode while we're casting Midas mode. Is that okay? Most people would say no. There's literally no difference between the two examples. Literally zero difference. So I don't know what the issue is, honestly.
The difference is that these third-party people are arguably small. It's like if I'm just some guy in a house, is it a big deal if I torrent things? If I'm an organization like a big movie company and I'm purposely torrenting things, and yes, obviously it's like the underdog thing. It's like you're just willing to let it slide if it's just one guy and that you like.
I think that's
generally the view.
very
it's
Is that right?
unacceptable, though.
I mean, it's morally wrong,
punish
but
people equally. In this scenario, you do.
and that's the next problem is that if you think that you're morally in the right, that somebody shouldn't be streaming your tournament, whether you're the tournament organizer or whatever, and then you DMCA that person, then his fans or their fans who like that person are going to get really mad at you. So everybody's scared to do it, basically. And then that person basically gets to undercut some of your viewership, maybe not all. Nobody really knows what the percentage would be, but probably at least part of it. and your sponsors don't get as much exposure. And because it kind of seems like no matter what tournament happens, if there's like a qualifier with good teams, you're going to have at least like 15K viewers, is what it seems like. Because we were even casting on Dota Pit 2 or something like that for the end of NA, and we still had like 15 to 20K viewers. So even if it's like a small channel that doesn't have a following, if there's good teams, it will trickle up, most likely. I mean, maybe it's different if the casters are absolute shit, but it doesn't, from in the past, it doesn't really seem like that. So I don't know. I feel like it's certainly undercutting. Yes, you're going to get more eyeballs, but it's going to be eyeballs that don't see the sponsorship stuff, which is ultimately the purpose. And the ad revenue from the viewership is going to go to that person rather than to the Twitch channel of the person running it. So I don't know. It's kind of a messy thing.
I don't know. There's still like it's always going to be this massive confusion because Valve's never going to say anything. Like I know there's people in the chat right now who are just still saying it's Dota TV. You can cast off Dota TV. We saw the video policy. That's what it says. But when you read like the tournament license and stuff, it makes it pretty clear there's an exclusive right to that tournament, or exclusive
Are we
rights to
allowed
that
to-
tournament and a license.
Are we allowed to quote this? What you
No,
guys
I'm
have
talking
quoted?
about the one that's this is one that's publicly available, the one that I'm just posting in chat. The Valve Corporation limited game tournament licenses. When you go through, it talks about running the tournaments, you know, and gives you the the license, blah blah, and it basically says at the end that Valve is never going to say anything about this. You know, this has nothing to do with laws. It's those classic indemnity, all that crap. So people don't really care about that one. And obviously, the one that's this newer one that we've discussed already, talking about the idea of there has to be a Dota
Have
TV
we-
broadcast.
Have we quoted the newer one yet? Or are we
Alright,
just saying
okay,
that it's
so
like
this
that?
Is the first thing
are we
people
allowed
say.
to quote?
Sorry,
The newer one,
because this is the thing that everyone brings up. Non-exclusive license. That just means this is not a license saying Moonduck is the only people who can cast Dota 2. That's what non-exclusive means. There are other organizers who have a non-exclusive license, like BTS will for the summit. That doesn't mean BTS owns Captain's Draft. Okay, that's what non-exclusive means. It's not saying that you don't. It's not non-exclusive to your tournament. It's non-exclusive to the game overall. Does that make sense? Is that clear?
Nope.
People seem really confused by that.
Well, also keep in mind there's stuff that I don't know if we're allowed to even talk about as well. So I'm just erring on the side of caution here. But again, to reiterate, I think a lot of this comes down to people like Grant is a perfect example. People want to hear him cast. They want to watch his cast because he's very entertaining. I mean, we freaking invited him to Captain's Draft 3. He came to my house and we cast. He went to Montreal. His literal two first tournaments that he cast in Dota 2 were because we were really big fans. So it has nothing to do with the actual person, right? It's more about if you want to hear him cast or watch his cast, complain to the tournament organizers to hire him. Like how is that even a thing? Like at this point,
he could
I
literally grind online qualifiers, and I think Dota Pit tried to do that. After the initial drama, they tried to get him to cast one day, and then that was the day that you casted Shannon. He basically
his internet
died.
just shit the bed. Yeah,
His internet shit the bed, so he couldn't cast that day. You know?
The
And they would've
classic
paid him to
American
cast, and
experience.
He just would have been
Yeah.
casting on the Dota Pit channel. Was the difference?
But I think because of what's happened, tournament organizers are going to look at this like as they're hiring studios or casters, and they're going to obviously bring him up now. So that I think overall this is going to be good for Grant. He just
I agree.
you know,
For sure, yeah.
in the long term for
the
sure.
the possible negatives though is that like if this becomes commonplace where it's okay to cast somebody else's tournament qualifiers, then people are just going to spend less money maybe, or will they just pay more to hire better casters? I'm not sure how the meta will change there, but why would
It depends
you?
on the sponsors. There are some sponsors which
guess.
really like qualifier eyeballs, and then there are sponsors which only care about the LAN portion. If you have a plethora of sponsors which really only give a shit about the LAN, especially endemics and like let's say hardware sponsors, or like most of the hardware sponsors like Need for Seed or Maxomic, these sort of guys, it's mostly going to be like, yeah, you just do your qualifiers and they're going to put them out there and they're just not going to cast them because who gives a shit? If your sponsor's not
Yeah.
going to pay you, like why even care? Because someone is going to hop on, maybe not a Toby, but some random guy is going to do it and you're good.
Well, you
But
said they
if-
just don't give any money ever again for qualifiers.
I mean,
It's like,
if it's
okay.
people that actually only care about the LAN portion, or like
Yeah.
sponsors which only care about the LAN portion, and if not, well, maybe we're gonna see more quality. I don't think so. Like I personally don't think so because if you think about it, the current scene is incredibly stacked. So all these sponsors, especially the esports F-fiend sponsors, I would say, really have like what 24, 25 tournaments now to choose from who they give their money to. So every tournament organizer is going to be kind of starved for sponsor money. So where do you kind of cut? And one of the easiest things to cut is qualifier casting, like the actual qualifier money per game. So if you go to a casting studio and go to Moonag, you're like, hey, so we can pay this amount of dollars per game. Is it something that you can do? And you go to BTS and JD and whatever, like you just go to these guys and be like, oh, by the way, actually we don't have that money. Like we can buy half. Like we can pay half. So can you still do it? And then obviously you're gonna have like these situations where there's some very unproven people who might not be very familiar with casting and who are casting solo for like 8 hours. It just happens if you don't pay them well at all. Because who else would do this? And if you look at the current rates, especially for these very long days, it's very clear why that happens. I just don't see a solution right now
Yeah,
without
there's also not that
massively
much
restricting.
money. Even beforehand, there isn't that much money involved in tournaments. Like, you're not really earning a crap load of money, at least most tournaments.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So having the extra money to be able to hire like the Tobys or whatever to cast your games just isn't possible. You know, like it really isn't. Like he's just cost. He would
But
cost
there's
too
some
much.
truth to the fact that it's part of the onus is on the tournament organizers to know who's casting their tournament. I think a lot of times they just give it to somebody and then they just give it to whoever they want. Where the tournament organizers, maybe they take a little bit more effort to, handpick or at least get a better idea of who should be casting these games. Plain and simple. Because that's the way it went with Dota Pit, just as an example. They asked us who we're bringing to cast. I gave them an entire list. It ended up changing a bit because of a lot of reschedules, but we kept the same roster for the most part. And we were very transparent. So for that tournament specifically, I don't think there was many complaints about my god-awful casting. As an example, but
You think?
'cause
All
you
the
know
Reddit
what
mods, they deleted everything, dude.
because you know what
I
you're
was
gonna
there.
get when I turn on that cast. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. It's kind of like this this old topic that's kind of being rehashed, I guess, which I don't think is actually going to go anywhere. Like, because Grant's going to get a ton of work as a result of this. So
Yeah, and that's good. Like, I don't want anyone to think we like hate Grant or something. It's just kind of crazy.
I hate Grant.
Yeah, we can't stand him. Yeah, worst guy ever. No, we all love Grant. It's just this weird, man. It's like Toby, for example, was streaming. Just to bring up someone else, like, 'cause we're not just shitting on Grant. Like, there was the finals of the BTS thing. It was being soul cast by Cyclops, and Toby decided, because Toby earlier in the day had been casually viewing some Chinese games that had no English caster. And that's understandable. No one had been casting it, and so he opens it up. He's giving a product. Perfect World, I'm pretty sure, is probably not going to bring in the DMCA on old Toby one. I don't think they know what's going on Twitch at the same time. So, is there really a harm or a moral problem there? Probably not. But then when he's finishing up China, this Fnatic final starts. God, everyone's excited to watch. I think it was Fnatic and Mineski, so the two top teams in SEA. And then Toby, after tweeting, I'm casting these Chinese games because there's no official caster, he kept doing the Fnatic Mineski. And I think he was at like 7,800 viewers or something, while the official BTS stream was at like 2K. And that's free market at work. I get that, but if you want to hold some of that like licensing and stuff like that, do you not, as like a sponsor, have the power to say like, man, this really sucks? Like we're losing like 5K viewers, whereas on a normal day, how many viewers would Toby have? Regularly he does not stream over 1,000 viewers, no question.
That's
a pretty clear-cut example of how that is. You're taking someone else's product and therefore buffing your own.
Well,
it also helps.
Status,
It
right?
also helps that when he streams, I don't watch the stream very often, but it's not like he sits on his stream normally and casts pub games.
Oh no, he's a
So
different
he's
guy.
taking his best product,
Yeah.
in a good circumstance and doing
Yeah.
it. So it's definitely a mix of both. Maybe not super clear cut, but
all right. I think that is enough said on that topic. It is.
Yeah.
It's very
We can call
way
it
I wrap it
volatile
up
to
is
some
that-
degree.
Yes, it's volatile. Everyone's always going to have a different opinion until Valve actually says something. No one's ever going to agree with someone if they feel strongly about the other side.
They never will, though.
Because
unfortunately.
it would take Valve to come out exactly, and Valve's never going to say anything. So we'll
Yeah.
probably be stuck here for a while. But all in all, everyone just wants what's best for Dota. And yes, I saw Slack saying earlier he wants you to tell the Kim story for story time.
oh yeah, that's
What,
right.
the Kim
Was it just me and
story?
Shannon that were there? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. You want to take it, Purge?
Well,
Story time.
I don't know. I'm gonna probably tell it. It's too bad Slacks wasn't here. He'd probably do
Yeah,
a better
Slacks,
job.
why don't you
but-
jump on TeamSpeak and just talk? We don't need to see your disgusting face. Like, what's wrong with that?
He's
The
probably
Kim
still wearing
story's
makeup,
great.
dude.
That's true. He could be on camera still. But I don't want to set that up, so we'll see.
SUNSfan
Yeah.
production. It's just a.
Dude, this is
Great
high
thing.
quality. Like, this is as high quality as Moonduck is going to get. Let's be real.
We
Honestly.
peaked, lads. This is it.
We'll see if he ends up coming on. But until then, It was great talking to you guys. It was just a real treat. I've been casting a little bit lately, as we talked about. It's nice to get back in the groove. Since I need to practice for captain's draft, I don't want to shit the bed. You know, I want to make sure it's as low quality as possible, like back in the day. Everybody should ping Cinderin to make sure that he casts with me at the LAN, because that is unknown. Piece of garbage, Cinderin. Commit. Jesus. Looks like Slex is coming. Good.
Is he?
That's what's happening. Okay, I see.
That's what he said. He said on the way. If he's debating us, then
What's taking so long, dude? Open TeamSpeak. He's on a computer.
Yeah, he probably doesn't remember the password.
did you see his vlog? Like, that laptop
No.
camera is complete dog shit. And
He's
then the
downloading
video,
TeamSpeak.
Downloading TeamSpeak, he says.
the video ends
Like, you still know the
abruptly.
TeamSpeak password?
Did anybody watch his vlog?
No.
No.
You should. It's pretty
I love his
interesting.
tweet was like, if you're watching a vlog, you've nothing else to do with your life anyway. It's like, yeah.
Well,
it's
the
pretty
best thing
accurate.
is he kept calling it a blog, not knowing the difference between a blog and a vlog. And then the camera was just complete garbage. And then at the end, it cuts off all of a sudden. And I asked him what happened. He's like, I ran out of space on my hard drive. I'm like, dear God, how is your computer so horrible? Jesus.
In fairness, he probably has a lot of them, the lower videos. I'd say he has like terabytes of that shit on his computer.
Terabytes, please.
Yeah, just like
Probably has
zoom-ins
terabytes of dogs of
enchantments.
his fucking dog, or pictures of his dog
It's probably
taking up his hard drive space. Use the power of the cloud, Slacks.
Move
please.
me, boys.
Somebody
Well,
move
Oh,
him.
he's called Aaron. Is that
I
him?
can't move him.
You can't move him?
Oh, no, it's okay. I got him. It's like, so in your settings, your mic is disabled, so you have to enable your mic, the correct audio device, in the settings of
Also called
TeamSpeak.
Aaron.
You're also called Aaron.
Can we have a tutorial session for Slacks on how to use TeamSpeak?
Okay, it's like, so you go to tools, and you go to options. Then you go to capture, and then you choose the capture device that is correct. It might be something like a microphone. You know, it's just a hunch, I'm not sure.
Or
Is he even on
default.
TeamSpeak?
Could work if you set it as default in the bottom.
Is that
right
him
hand.
there with the Swedish flag?
Is he Aaron?
He's Aaron.
Yeah, he's
yeah.
Aaron, he's Aaron.
is in
He's
Sweden.
in.
He doesn't need talk power, does he? No, he's good.
No, he will get talk power.
All right, let's just have silence until Slacks says something. I think that's
That
the best way
microphone
to do
Oh,
it.
okay.
disabled. That's not.
Yeah, that.
Boy, I
that's
hope you guys
literally
like this
what's
story.
Yeah, this better be.
It better be a good one.
Pretty
This
good.
is-
We're on
Complete
prep time on this thing
garbage.
right now.
We have a like story specialist coming in. Like,
He kind of is.
Well,
though.
Uh,
It's worth the wait, I'm sure.
well, okay. Well, while we wait, I guess. Did you guys notice that Valve actually did release a thing about the behavior matchmaking? They put up a new update that was
Right
just,
now?
came out like
Yeah,
it came out like
literally
about
right
when
now.
we started.
oh, what
Um,
happened?
And it stated, all right, fixed various bugs with matchmaking, adjusted the weight given to behavior metrics to be more focused on a very small percentage of players that were the most offensive players rather than the general population. Adjusted matchmaking for new players to be more sensitive to the number of games played rather than behavior. So we're not going to get this whole, like, why am I playing with guys with 5 games and I have 1,000 and blah, blah, blah. Players that are detected as Smurfs, however, are treated
Hello?
primarily on their skill. Oh, there he is. Thank
Hello.
God. So
Well done,
basically, they
Slacks.
took all the complaints and said, hey, you guys were right, and they fixed it. Go Slacks.
Excellent.
Cool.
Yeah, get them.
maybe they're
Hey,
gonna
I'm
make a new
really
blog
worried
post
about
the
that,
video
guys,
post.
because I'm pretty fucking toxic, and I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
get the Arteezy treatment or if they're just gonna ban my ass. So
You're
Probably
fucked.
both.
I don't
You're all
know.
pretty toxic.
Hey, I'm holding a blue snowball like an apple right now at the DreamHack Studios, guys.
You sound better than
Oh.
usual.
Talking into it.
You sound way better than usual.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Here's my story, guys. This is a story about my bachelor party. Now, I've always had a dream of what I wanted to do at my bachelor party, and SUNSfan and Purge made it happen.
We don't deserve
I
credit. It
literally
was
did
Soylent,
nothing.
dude. It's literally
Here's
Soylent.
what happened. I've always wanted a stripper at my bachelor party. So, what we did was we were in the house and we had a LAN party for the bachelor party. Don't laugh! But I just had all my good friends there playing Dota 2 in the basement, having a LAN party. And we were playing One Night Werewolf, and there's a knock at the door. We open the door, and there's this young woman by the name of Kim. And we say, hey, Kim, come on in. And she's like, great. And we're playing Werewolf, and we say, all right, Kim, take a seat. We're going to play some Werewolf. And she's like, oh, okay. So we start playing Werewolf. And then she's like, wouldn't you guys like it more if I was playing this card game naked? And we're like, whoa, Kim, keep your goddamn clothes on. We're playing werewolf here. So an hour goes by, and Kim really wants to get naked, and we just won't let her. And every time she asks, we say, whoa, Kim, keep your clothes on. We're playing werewolf here. So then we're like, hey, Kim, do you want to play virtual reality? Also, we're done making pizza and cookies. So we give Kim a bunch of cookies and pizza rolls, and we're like, let's play some virtual reality, Kim. Kim's freaked the fuck out, because she doesn't know what's going on. I'm pretty sure she thought she was in a cult and we were going to kill her. She keeps going in the fridge and taking these beers and just chugging them as quickly as possible. Like, she knows she's going to die. But the whole time, we're just like, chill out, Kim, have some fun. We'll get to that later. Anyway, so we put the headset on Kim, which, may I say, what a brave stripper. Because if I was a stripper and some boys put a headset on me, when I took that thing off, I know they would all be jerking off, but she just went for it. Kim's got the headset on, she's playing the fucking vibe, she's playing Tilt Brush, and we're like, write your name, Kim, and she writes, like, Amanda, and she's like, oh no, that's my real name, and we're like, don't worry, Kim, it's fine. Anyway. 45 minutes passes, and Kim's like, so, do you guys want me to get naked or what? And we're like, we're gonna play Diddy Kong Racing now. At this point, Kim's worried. Kim doesn't think she's gonna make any money, and we're some kind of fucking psychopaths. So we make Kim a deal, and we say, Kim, whoever you beat at Diddy Kong Racing will tip you. So she starts really playing Diddy Kong Racing, like she's fucking in it. Purge Gamers is going against Kim in Diddy Kong Racing, and she fucking beats us all. And Purge is like, he's upset about it, and he does a rematch with Kim after we all have to tip her for beating us at Diddy Kong. And then he lost again. Anyway, it's been an hour and a half, and Kim is sufficiently wasted, and she's had a few hits of the marijuana, and now she's into it. She doesn't give a fuck. So we go downstairs to play some PUBG and Dota, and she's watching us, and every time we get a kill, we all tip Kim. And then Kim's like, I'd like to go home now. We tell Kim that she has an Instagram, and SUNSfan's talking about his Instagram. And he's like, yeah, I have an Instagram. I have this many followers. And she's like, really? And then he's like, yeah, I have a Dota Cinema, which has 1.5 million subscribers. And then she goes, why? In like the most disgusted
She was pretty disgusted. But then she got super animated after that. She was super interested.
And then Kim went home 20 minutes before she was supposed to. We paid for 2 hours of a stripper, and she showed up 30 minutes late. She
15.
left 20 minutes early.
That was 10.
And, yeah, Kim was a beautiful creature, and we just would not let her get naked. We basically paid a stripper to play video games with us in Diddy Kong Racing for 2 hours.
Yeah, when she got really excited about everybody's like verified on Twitter stuff and all that stuff, I'm like, oh, I think I'll post an Instagram photo of you coaching them play. So I did that, and as I was writing it, I was like, is it offensive to say? Who do I hear? Who is that?
Oh, sorry, we're
That's
having a LAN
Bernie.
party at
Oh,
Dreamcast.
great! Another stripper over there, by any chance? Is
It's
it?
not Bernie then. Never mind.
So I'm looking at the Instagram. I'm trying to type it in. Like, is it offensive to say stripper? So she's looking at it, and she's like, no, delete that. I'm like, so I delete it and I post it. It's like the most worthless post. Nobody knows what. Now you know what that post on my Instagram is, showing the chick. So,
Yes, and can we
was
also
weird.
say that she has a son, and I don't remember his name, but it
Don't
was
even
hilarious.
say it. Don't say it.
That's right.
It's gonna help people find her. Don't do that.
All right, I won't do that. But we had a real bonding moment, And I hope that she tells that story for the rest of her lives, because I'm pretty sure for half the night she thought she was fucking dead. Like it was.
But
like,
It
dude,
was
the-
uncomfortable.
You forgot the best part when she first walked in and we were playing werewolf. A werewolf, you have to put your head down and close your eyes, right?
oh yeah.
So she gets in a room and there's like 10 dudes, and the first thing we tell her to do before getting changed is sit on this couch and be like, "All right,
Close
everyone
your
has to
eyes."
close your eyes now." And there's like 10 dudes she's never met before. That was
Oh, I
That is
also
actually
forgot
terrifying.
my wife to be. She wanted to spy on the bachelor party, although she claims that she didn't. She walked into the bachelor party at 10:30 at night without knocking and was like, "I have to drop off this present for SUNSfan." Anyway, she walks in, and I was like, "Oh, hey Kim, this is my wife." And Kim's face was shocked, and she went to go put her clothes away and run out the door. And I'm like, "No, Kim, it's fine. She's cool with this." She
Yeah, Kim tried to play it off like she was not uncomfortable, but my God,
Oh, she
it was
wildly
plainly obvious.
uncomfortable,
Yeah.
dude. Anyway, greatest bachelor party ever. We really tormented this poor woman that just wanted to get naked for 2 hours, and that's the story. I mean, it was great. Thank you, Purge and SUNSfan, for being part of it.
you really shouldn't thank us. It's really Soylent did like 90% of the work, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but we did all tip her from the Diddy Kong Racing trials, so
That's true.
I heard
All
she
right.
did pretty well.
she kicked
She did pretty
ass,
well.
dude.
She
was
beat some
a-
people.
I did not lose to her. I just want to put it on record.
How many games did you play though?
One game.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I played 2. I lost one also.
game.
The best part was SUNSfan was like very upset that there was a stripper. He was like, "This does not arouse me." And then we were like, "Should we have her give SUNSfan a lap dance?" And then we all agreed that it would ruin the illusion of what we were building. But it could have been super worth it too. Like it was amazing.
That would have been pretty funny.
All right. Well, anyway, that's the story. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Slacks. Enjoy the
Yep.
rest of Sweden,
Jake.
friend.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
All right. So I think that
Well.
that brings this episode of What the Duck to a close. Any last words from you, young gentlemen?
Yeah,
No.
that's different than I would have told the story, but there's a lot more laughing in his version.
Well, would we be
I just would have
crying
given
after
you the
your
hard
version or
facts. I
something?
should have been like hard facts, and it just been done in like 30 seconds. You guys have been like, "That's cool, I guess."
I was actually told by Ma, I think, that you guys had a stripper, but no more was said. It was just
Oh,
like,
okay.
there was a stripper, and like that was it. So
A
now I know
stripper
the
that
full
didn't
story.
strip. Yeah. We just had a woman over that played games at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
a board gamer or something.
She was wearing a hoodie that went up to her wrists, and she was wearing pants. Only skin we saw was like our face, and she was wearing sandals, so feet, I guess. That was it.
Ah, nice.
All right. So thanks for joining us, everybody. Until next time, we are signing out. Have a good one. You're going to see a blank intro screen. You're going to hear my voice. It says going live soon. Just disregard that. Goodbye.